A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to my channel yet again. Here on the Vlog-A-Thon, I'm about a third of the way there, but at this point, I'm just going to keep on going and going and going and going until I reach the very end. That's just kind of how I want to keep on going here. I'm going to keep trudging through the snow, swimming through the oceans, climbing up the mountains, flying through the air, and all of those things were out there until I reached the very end of the journey that I got. And so starting off with, well, a simple greeting here on the Vlog-A-Thon and now ending up a third of the way there already, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about YouTube's 15th birthday. Yeah. YouTube has just turned 15 years old. And if that's not crazy enough, then, well, the fact that my channel itself is not even 12 years old, it's one thing, pretty much. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and talk about a few things about YouTube's big evolution from day one. My point of view about it whatsoever. YouTube was first started in February of 2005. It was first founded by a few former PayPal workers out there who wanted to make their own video streaming service out there so anyone out there can upload videos of their own according. And by November of 2006, when the platform itself was already somewhat recognized by millions of people out there who had come to terms with how many amazing videos out there had been put around, like Keyboard Cat, Sneezing Panda, and of course one of the PayPal workers simply standing near an elephant exhibit, which was considered the oldest YouTube video of all time. Google had purchased the platform itself for a whole lot of money. And nowadays, we just have Google becoming the prime owner of YouTube itself. But of course, starting from that point on in November 2006, that was a point in time where the platform itself would get even bigger and bigger and bigger as time would go on. In 2007, of course, was when Miss Oliver and Blossom, who was the first big YouTuber I ever came across in my life, had been brought onto the world in March of 2007. But from that point on, in 2008 and 2009, of course, the web series simply titled Thomas and Friends by Miss Oliver and Blossom, which of course was run by William Grubb, who even to this day still has a lot of stuff going on the internet out there, regardless of what platform William's on. It just seemed that the franchise itself, the Thomas and Friends by Miss Oliver and Blossom, was going to get really big because it was able to earn hundreds of subscribers within just some time, as well as a ton of viewership. The series itself was becoming very popular, but of course, not quite as popular as Angry Video Game Nerd or Fred, which of course were also going on during the pioneering years of YouTube itself. Angry Video Game Nerd first started uploading to YouTube as far back as April 2006, and with Fred, though, it goes a little bit further back. October 1st, 2005 was when that channel had first been established. And even though Lucas Cruikshank, who does still in fact use YouTube as a way of uploading vlogs, was very amazing at the time of performing the character Fred Figglehorn, which of course had been known for being the overlord of Obnoxious and the Sultan of Shrieking. But at the same time, it was a message to millions of people worldwide that the many things that we do on a daily basis must be done appropriately. Otherwise, the behavior that Lucas Cruikshank exhibits as the character Fred Figglehorn in each of the videos that we've seen on YouTube so far, they can all come down with some type of disciplinary action. Anything that you can do out there in the same way as Fred would ever do, you might have yourself a big problem coming down on top of you. A brick wall will come slamming down on top of your body. You might end up in a pot full of boiling hot water. Any kind of trouble can come right at you if you ever perform the same way as Fred does, even today. But of course, back then, many things out there had also come around. But from the first several videos that I've seen up until that point in time, to where I had discovered how big YouTube had already gotten, I was simply looking at some pug-related videos on the internet, like the pug head tilt, pug bowling, pug falls in the toilet, and all that good stuff. There were so many great videos out there about pugs that I'd already noticed, I almost had little to no time to simply look at some of the other stuff. But eventually I did. After looking at the pug bowling video, I was able to gain access to some other things out there, like toy trains. That was where it led me to Miss Oliver and Blossom's Thomas and Friends saga on YouTube, which was still ongoing in March of 2008, about a year after the channel itself had been established. But of course, following those times, 2008, 2009, and 2010, those were also times where I had been watching those videos. Those same videos from those channels, although not technically Angry Video Game Nerd. Although I can point out that I was actually looking at some other James Rolfe related content like Godzilla-Thon or Cinemassacre's Monster Madness, which were also going on at the time in 2008 and 2009. Although, of course, I wouldn't necessarily get into Angry Video Game Nerd until a few years later, where I first came across Action 52. I first saw that episode a few years ago, but of course, I didn't necessarily start really getting into Angry Video Game Nerd until the first few episodes of Season 13 came out during early 2019. By the time the episode about Pepsi Man came out in May of 2019, that was when I really started getting into James Rolfe's series itself, the Angry Video Game Nerd. It was already getting so big that I had no idea that it was still going. The fact that it was such a huge series in a matter of nearly 16 years already, yeah, it was around even before YouTube was ever around. But still, Angry Video Game Nerd really proved to be something out of the ordinary. Way out of the ordinary. And I can tell you right now, it's still going strong today with Ray 2020. And hopefully with the new episode coming around soon. But at this point, even by today's standards, with millions of videos out there, ranging from creepypastas to jump scare videos, to gameplays, to reviews, to unboxings, and everything of the sort that you could ever possibly think of, I happen to follow in line with many of these different subjects by today's standards because of how big the platform's already gotten. It was a simple cold hit, but now it is something that's way more than any of that stuff that you ever thought about it before then. And now, I guess I should give myself a pat on the back for that one right there, because that was just a really big story I might have told here on Vlog-A-Thon. Kind of longer than I expected. But of course, I guess that's fine. I can probably live with it. And if you want to see more go down on my channel, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.